Laser sights can deter threats and aid in quick target identification, enhancing your ability to protect your family, home, and country. Crimson Trace, making laser sights standard equipment. Learn more at crimsontrace.com.
This is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, now available on iTunes and other podcast clients, and on the free GunDealio smartphone app for iPhone and Android. Feel free to call Tom now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN or 866-825-5486, or email Tom at guntalk.com. Now, once again, here's Tom.
All right, we're back with you. Tom Gresham is here, because that's me. If you'd like to join us, just give me a call. Just dial Tom Talk Gun. Really easy. Tom Talk Gun. We'll talk about pretty much any kind of gun. I may not know the answer, but I have a staff of thousands. Well, that means you guys. Because when I don't know, I'll just say, help! And you call in, you fix it all up. You know the answers to. Somebody out there knows the answer to any question. It's wonderful. And you bail me out. And you're generally pretty kind about it. You don't start off with, Tom, you're such a dummy. And I appreciate that. Oh, man. You know, of course, how much I love the 1911. I've talked about it a lot. It's just a great platform. And we just talk about the possibility of getting these surplus 1911 sold through the CMP. That would be pretty cool. I mean, honestly, I don't know any people who are real gun people who wouldn't want a military surplus 1911, probably including the guy who's going to join us right now. Joining me right now is Mark Garney from Ruger, the huge monster firearms company, who I happen to know is a 1911 guy. How you doing, Mark?
I'm very fine, Tom. How are you, sir?
I'm well. We were just talking before you got on here about the possibility, just hearing that the CMP may start providing some of those surplus 1911s that are sitting in warehouses, militaries. And I'm thinking, even though we have access to all these cool new guns with all the recent advances, who wouldn't want to have one of those pieces of history?
Well, at least one. I mean, each one could tell you a story. You just listen to it.
Just sit and listen to it. Only gun people would understand that, Mark. I understand exactly what you're saying, man.
Yeah, that would be a treat if Uncle Sam could provide us those.
Oh, it would be. Well, you guys have got some 1911 news from Ruger.
Well, we do, and I was so patiently waiting, because when we first came out with the 1911, it's a 5-inch steel gun in 2011. Wow, I thought this would be a great platform in 10 millimeter.
Right.
Well, no, we have to do a commander length next, because that's what most people are going to buy. Oh, okay. Right. Then can I have a 10 millimeter? Well, sure, but we're going to have to do a commander length in 9 millimeter and in lightweight with a titanium feed ramp. So okay, and we kept pushing the 10 millimeter back, and I remember just being delighted when I finally got to shoot it, because it has a bull barrel and a full length guide rod, so there's no bushing. And that puts a little more weight forward on it. Yeah. And I know you've shot it. It's the smoothest shooting 10 millimeter I've ever shot.
Now, this is a
delight to shoot.
This is a target model, right?
It is. It has a fully adjustable Bomar on the back. Is that 10 millimeter comes in all different flavors from barely warmed over 40 plus T to barely to something that kind of makes you giggle every time you press the trigger. So.
You say, y'all hold on, I'm going to fire another one here. So, yeah, exactly. Okay, so, all right, we got a 5-inch barrel, 1911 target, all steel in 10 millimeter, 8 plus 1, so 8 rounds plus 1, right?
Correct.
I love it. I just love it. So you have been patiently waiting.
One quick story.
Sure.
I had my son was 13 at the time, and now you know me. I'm not a very big guy, and he's pretty lean too. And I handed the 10 millimeter. I really didn't tell him what he was in for, and it was getting a little bit dusk, just a little bit. Mm-hmm. He lights it off, and of course this big muzzle flash goes by, and we were shooting some little 9 millimeter prior to that, so it's going ting ting ting. And this one goes ka-fwang and bangs the steel, and the muzzle flash lights up. And he looks at me and he just starts giggling. He's like, this is so badass.
And it is.
And it is, yeah.
Well, and of course, people are going to go, well, what am I going to do with that? Well, the answer is anything you want, I will tell you. And we've talked a lot about, and Ruger has some of the best handguns for bear protection, for instance, in revolvers. But with the right loads, this would be an excellent gun to carry into bear country, wouldn't it?
Sure, a 200 or 220 grain hard cast load,
yep.
Up around 1,200, 1,250. And there's some boutique ammo manufacturers that do that kind of work.
Right. I mean, just rock and roll. So obviously the next question is, and you and I talked about this when you first told me about it, so that's all well and good. So where's my carry gun?
Right, a Commander. Now, I have a Commander length in 10.
Yeah.
It's a personal gun.
Yeah.
And it's built on a Caspian frame. And I've never chronoed it to see just how much velocity it might lose on a little less barrel. So I carry the 5-inch 10 all the time. That's when it gets really warm. But that would be an interesting thing to see just how that ammo performs. I think you and I looked it up, and it doesn't seem to take that much of a hit.
I don't think you're going to lose a lot of velocity going from 5-inch to 4-inch barrel. I just don't. And I think if you did a 4-inch barrel in a carry configuration with some kind of Novak or Novak-ish sights on it, maybe even an adjustable form of that, that might be a pretty nice package.
It would. I'd sign up for it.
Of course you would. You're easy like me. Another gun? Yeah, I'm there, man.
Yeah, exactly. But we call this our voice of the customer program, right? We take information from all places.
Okay, I'm on your website. Look, I'm looking at the SR 1911, and I scroll down, and all of a sudden something flashes and blinds me off the page here. You got a red 1911.
Yeah.
It's a Gallery of Guns distributor exclusive, but the gun is red.
Hey, just because you and I like polished blue and walnut doesn't mean we can't have different guns and different colors.
I hate to admit this, but I really like this.
It's pretty cool.
It's really cool looking.
Yeah.
It's a red 1911. That is sweet. Yeah. All right, we got to tell people about the Mark IV. Making some progress on that, moving ahead. This was the recall you had, right?
Yeah. We've been delighted with the response that we've had. We've thousands upon thousands of people have taken us up on it to get their gun, retrofitted for free. We turn it around within a week, and they get a free magazine out of the deal. So there is no reason not to do it. But I cruise around some forums, and I see some people who post up and they say that, my gun doesn't do that. The whole thing where you put it in between safe and fire, and it doesn't fire, but then it does fire when you bump the safety lever. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not. But maybe you're just not manipulating it right, and we make it so easy. Mm-hmm. It's all done online. We mail you a prepaid box. You put just your frame in the box. It's not even the serialized part of the gun.
Okay.
We won't do that until we're ready to do it. We'll turn around in a week and give you a free magazine. Why wouldn't you take us up on it? We make it easy, and it makes the gun great.
We're talking about the relatively new Ruger Mark IV 22 rimfire semi-automatic pistol. There's a recall on it. And to the point that you mentioned, people say, well, mine doesn't do that. Well, it doesn't until it does. It's always the way with safety stuff, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. And can you imagine to hear that some tragedy happened with a gun that you owned and you didn't get fixed?
Yeah, and you had a chance to do it completely for free and get an extra magazine on the deal, and Ruger's going to make it right for you. So, yeah, if you have one of these are the ones made before, was it June 1?
Yes.
I believe it is.
And we've got a really well laid out web page on our website. You just go to our website, you can't miss it, and it'll tell you which ones are affected. Like you said, before June. Right. And we're making regular guns now that don't need the retrofit, and we are fixing people's guns and returning them already. So it's in full swing. And again, there's no reason not to do it. If you just visit our website, you'll see all the details, and please take us up on it. We're happy to get them fixed. Okay,
good deal. So, I already dubbed 2017 the year of the revolver, and you guys keep helping me out with that one, with the 44 Special, was one that got my attention right off the bat. Are revolver still strong for you guys?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We have both double action and single action. And I think single actions kind of run into almost, in my mind, like 1911s to me. They're a ton of fun. They can come in all different flavors and types and sizes. And of course, we run the gamut from the Bearcat in 22 or the single 10, all the way up to the Super Red Hawk in 454 Casull and everywhere in between. So single actions, double actions. And our newest one is an SP-101 Match Champion. We just came out with that, and that's a delightful little gun.
What does that do?
Oh, it's a 4.2-inch SP-101. It's chambered in 357, but it has a factory tune-up job on it. So we put centering shims on the hammer and trigger, polish all the internals. So it's a nice, smooth double action and with very crisp single action. Got a really cool-looking Altamont wooden grip on it, and it's just a gang of fun to shoot.
I'm looking at it on the website now. That's a good-looking revolver.
It's a good-looking gun, and it's fun to shoot. All these years we've been getting ready for the zombie apocalypse, but how about we just go shoot and have fun?
Well, that's what it's really all about. It is a hoot and a half. Well, I'm delighted about the 10, delighted about what you're doing with the revolvers. And for those who are wondering, people are still making and selling guns, so don't worry about it. Ruger's going to be here. Mark, thank you so much, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me, Tom.
All right, you take care. 10mm 1911. What do you think? Would you get one of those? Would you carry? Here's the question. Would you carry a 10mm? And if you already do, why? 866-TALK-GUN or just dial Tom Talk Gun.
Double Tap Ammunition. Loaded with quality components, hand inspected, and made in the U.S. Offering 481 loads in 82 calibers. Find your next shot at DoubleTapAmmo.net. DoubleTapAmmo.net.
Savage just made the modern sporting rifle better. Available in 4 variations, the MSR-15 Patrol and Recon and MSR-10 Hunter and Long Range. All with 5R rifling for easier cleaning and enhanced accuracy, correct gas system links for reliability and reduced recoil, upgraded trigger system, and corrosion-resistant barrels. Savage MSRs. Better comes standard. See more at SavageArms.com or ask your local gun dealer to see the Savage MSR rifles.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at TimneyTriggers.com.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Colt National Match Ammunition, manufactured by Double Tap, is specially developed for performance and accuracy. Real match ammo, designed with competition power factors in mind. Colt National Match Ammunition by Double Tap Ammo. Available in stores now.
All right, back with you, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. Much easier that way. I'm Tom Gresham, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, on Twitter I am at Gun Talk, and we're putting out a lot of stories there. A lot of information, a lot of reference material, if you will, resource material for you to use when you're talking about gun rights, talking to people who favor gun control. It gives you the information you need to ask the right questions. So why... Given the fact that we have millions more guns over the last 20 years, has murder rate gone down? Why, given the fact that we have millions of people carrying loaded guns for personal protection, has the rate of crimes with guns gone down. If you have the information, you can ask the question in such a way that it leaves them scratching their heads. And if they're scratching their heads, they're thinking. If you get them thinking, you can win, because the data, the facts, the logic is all on our side. So you want to be following me on Twitter. I'm at Gun Talk to get all that kind of information there. Hey, let's go to line 2. Kenneth is with us with great patience out of Marshall, Texas. Kenneth, thank you for your call. You say you're an insurance agent?
Yes, sir. I'm an independent insurance agent, and one of your callers and you were talking about passing on firearms to your relatives, and I'm not an attorney, so I'm not giving legal advice, but one idea I had is maybe put those firearms in a trust or a gun trust. Back, I think last year, the loophole for that was closed, or maybe the year before, where you could, purchase suppressors or Class 3 firearms through a gun trust. But if you have firearms you want to leave, you set up have the attorney set the trust up where you have a trustee that manages it or oversees it, but you can also name other people as trustees of the trust. But you'd want to talk to a competent estate planning attorney that specializes in that.
Let me throw out a couple of things. One is that there was not a loophole in the law. There was actually a provision in the law.
Or provision, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and the only thing that changed is that before, if you had a trust, you didn't have to go get photographed and fingerprinted. Now you do. It's become actually more cumbersome, because now all the members of the trust have to submit photographs and fingerprints for every item that you buy that's NFA. So every suppressor, every gun. Man. It's a pain in the rear, and a lot of people are just getting out of it. They're just not going to do that for the NFA stuff. But to your point, there very well could be some good reasons to put your guns in a trust, put your kids in the trust, so that there's actually not a succession in terms of your will and everything else, because you no longer own the guns. The trust owns the guns, and when you're gone, you're just one member of the trust, and the other members of the trust still have them.
That's right.
Also, you would definitely want to be careful about setting that up, of course.
Yes, sir. And then my other question is, and I appreciate you letting me ask another question or make another comment, what's the process for getting one of those military surplus firearms or pistols once they become available?
Okay, what you'd want to do is go to the website for the Civilian Marksmanship Program, and they will have all the information there. And they do that now. They already have guns right now, military surplus guns that you can purchase, and there are certain rules and procedures you have to go through. But if you just go Google up Civilian Marksmanship Program, in fact, I think it's cmp.org, maybe it's something like that. CMP, I'm going to try org and just see if I get there that way. May not come up. Nope, that doesn't get it there. CMP.org gets you Center for Medical Progress. I'll look it up. We'll get you the information. But it's Civilian Marksmanship Program, and we'll get you that information. But yeah, if you go there, it'll have the information. But understand, these 1911s, if they become available, will not be available for at least a year and possibly 2 years. So as we get there, I'll be announcing it here. All righty?
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Tom, for what you do. We appreciate you.
All right, I appreciate that. Let's see here. Checking my time. Yeah, we're good. Let's go talk to John in Claremore, Oklahoma, on line 1. Hey, John.
Hi, Tom. Back in the mid-'60s, the government surplused some 1911s, and my mother ordered one for my dad. It was $50, and of course on those deals you take what they send you. It could have a lot of wear, it could have very little wear. My dad showed up still packed in the Cosmoline, apparently never touched. Wow.
That is something. By the way, we just looked it up. It's thecmp.org, so it's thecmp.org. We'll get you there, and they've got the information on the sales there. So do you still have that gun?
Well, and when my dad died in 2001, I had first choice. Being the oldest, my mother gave me first choice, and I actually took my dad's Polish Radom because that was the gun that Dad kept loaded in the house, and to me, that gun said Dad more than the 1911. So I've had a lot of second thoughts about that, but my youngest brother has it. He shoots it almost never. and it is still in perfect shape. It's a Remington Rand.
That's neat. That is something. But, yeah, I'm looking right now on the CMP website. It says the CMP sells government surplus M1 Garands, 22 caliber target rifles, and small quantities of other rifles to qualified purchasers. And to understand what qualified means, you better go to the website and look all that up. But very cool. John, I appreciate you sharing that information. The idea of leaving guns to people, it comes up a lot. And I just having been through this, if you have a whole bunch of guns, you might want to dispose of a lot of them while you are around. It's entirely possible that not everybody in your family wants dozens or hundreds of guns, and then they have to deal with that. Just a thought. One of the things that, and you probably know the story. I've told it before. When my dad died, obviously he had lots of guns. And I wanted a lot of them, but I didn't want all of them. So I looked around and said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What I did not want to do was sell them one at a time. I didn't want people coming to the house, that kind of a deal. So stumbled upon Johnny Dury over at Dury's Guns in San Antonio, Texas. True story. Johnny, in the years since then, has become a friend, and he's a sponsor of the show, and it's just kind of like we developed this multi-pronged relationship, just really good people. But he just made it really easy. He said, hey, just send me a list of what you got. I'll tell you what I would sell them for. I'll give you 70% of that, 30% off. I'll just come over and pick them all up and write you a check on the spot. And that's exactly what he did. He came over, he looked at them, says, yeah, they are exactly as you represented. Here's what, I'll give you for them. Here's a check, and they were gone. Boom. If you end up with a lot of guns, or one or two guns, doesn't matter. They'll buy them. They're always hungry for used guns. So DurysGuns.com. I just, in terms of thinking, what are you going to do with these guns if you have a bunch of them, and you know that not everybody in your family wants them, or if you're on the other side, if you receive a bunch of guns in an inheritance or something, and you're thinking, what am I going to do? I'm going to keep some of them, but I don't want all of them. You might call Johnny. The guys over there are just awfully good. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. I'm Tom Gresham. It's Gun Talk, and we're open lines. If you've been out shooting, I'd like to get your range report. What ammo are you carrying these days, by the way? It's only a life or death decision.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you. We're talking about the possibility, the hope, the myth, the chimera, might happen, of having the U.S. government return maybe as many as 100,000 1911 pistols to the rightful owners. That'd be you and me. Yeah, the people who paid for them, people who pay taxes. What we're talking about is the civilian marksmanship program through the years sells surplus firearms they get from the government. It's an official policy. It's a program. But sometime back, the Obama administration took out the ability of them, for the CMP, to sell surplus handguns, because, of course, handguns are bad. So, under the Trump administration, we may get that back. In fact, just looking, where was that? Let me get this. Okay, this was done by Congressman Mike Rogers from Alabama. He introduced an amendment to the fiscal budget of 2018. It would compel the Army to release 1911 A1 pistols to the civilian marksmanship program. He says in his release, transferring these vintage pistols to the CMP would allow them to inspect, grade, prepare for sale, and sell these pistols. The CMP would reimburse the Army for costs associated with the transferring of the pistols. That would be pretty cool. So anyway, they tell me that there are maybe as many as 100,000 of these pistols, 45 automatics, sitting there that could be brought back, could be released, could be sold to us. Don't know when, don't know how much, don't know how it's going to work. If you want information on how the process currently works, you can go to thecmp.org to find out how the civilian marksmanship program works right now as it relates to selling guns. All right, let's go to the phones. Line 4, Michael's with us. Toledo, Ohio. Michael, 1911s. What do you think, man?
I'll buy as many as I can. I have a one manufactured, a Colt, it was made in 1913 by the serial number anyway, as far as I can tell.
Wow.
And I love it. I shoot it probably 3-4 times a year at least. When I go to the range, I just take it once in a while just to put some rounds through it. But I've gone to gun shows just to get an idea of what it might be worth, and I'll give you 800, I'll give you 950. I said, well, yeah, I'll bet you would.
It's a gun show, yeah. Right.
Yeah, I know it's worth way more than that, but yeah, I would definitely be interested in picking up at least one. But
okay,
so these are A1s, you're saying?
Right. You do and well, that's what was in the release. Who knows? I mean, we don't know what's actually there. And so it's going to be whatever it is. You do understand that pistol, for those who missed it, that pistol is 104 years old right now, and you're still out there shooting it.
It shoots like it's brand new. I keep it clean. I keep it stored properly, and I can take it out tomorrow morning and would not have an issue at all.
Isn't that amazing?
It is crazy. I mean, it's just so well made, and you can't hurt them.
And of course, as we're talking about this, I'm also thinking for the gun banners who just don't understand this. I mean, this is a 104-year-old pistol. It works perfectly, just like a brand new pistol does now. You're not going to get rid of them, people. This is just silliness on it. But anyway, that's a whole nother deal. I love the fact that we can shoot guns that are 100 years old and they work great. To your point about people saying, yeah, I'll give you X for it. Quick story. We had a guy call the show some years ago. He had a 1911. We actually had Steve Fiested from the Blue Book of Gun Values on. This guy calls in. He says, because Steve had said, well, if you had 1911, he kind of chuckles. Of course, if you had a Singer, then it would be worth a lot more. Because Singer made only 500 1911 pistols, the Singer sewing machine company. This guy calls in. He says, well, I think I've got a Singer. And we all go, yeah, right. He says, no. Anyway, turns out I started corresponding with him over the next week or two. The man had a Singer 1911. And he wrote me, he said, well, my local dealer said he'd give me $1,500 for it. I said, yeah, I bet he would. When it was all said and done, he sold it for close to $120,000. So when people say, I'll give you this for it, you better do some research and find out what it's really worth. Hey, Michael, thank you for the call. I appreciate that. Let's see. Ruben, don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you when we come back. We also have room for more calls. If you'd like to join us right now, just give us a shout, 866-TALK-GUN or Tom Talk Gun. And I'm asking the question, what are you shooting these days? What have you been taking out to the range? And have you taken my advice, my suggestion to go out and shoot some revolvers? Have you rediscovered the fun of revolvers? Just give me a holler. Tom Talk Gun.
Hardcore tactical professionals who put their lives on the line every day depend on Surefire. For decades, Surefire has built the first and finest professional-grade flashlights, weapon-mounted lights, hearing protection, and suppressors. We build the best because lives depend on it, and we know failure is not an option. We design, engineer, and manufacture Surefire products right here in the U.S. For you, for your loved ones, Surefire. American built, American strong. Surefire.com.
The Black Hills. There's nothing like it on Earth. The kind of place where characters become legends. Wild Bill Hickok, Crazy Horse, Calamity Jane. Pick any part of the world and you'll find people go there to make it their own. But this is where people come to get made. This is the place that made the people who make the best ammo on Earth. Black Hills Ammunition.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
I love the dumb crook stories. Memphis, Tennessee. Theft of electricity leads Memphis cops to stolen gun cache. Memphis cops found these guys had 27 stolen guns, including a rifle that belonged to the local sheriff's office. Workers from a Memphis utility company suspected the homeowners were stealing electricity. They spotted an extension cord stretching to the home from another residence. The workers showed up at the house. They saw the guns. Evidently, this whole thing looked shady. Cops showed up with a search warrant. There we go. Stolen guns. It's that old deal. It's like if you're going to rob things, you don't drive around, don't speed in a bright yellow car. You just don't want to call attention to yourself. But then again, not rocket surgery, as we say. Hey, Ruben, line 2 is talking out of Squaw Valley, California. What do you think, Ruben? 1911s. Going there?
I couldn't wait to get one like that. I've been waiting for so long to get an original one, and I just never quite had the time or the money to get it, but I am so ready for something like that. I have 2 sons that served in the military. Both of them were back in the Middle East and Iraq. And I'd like to get 2 of them, one for each of them to have, and that pistol is about as American military as you can get. And as far as shooting it, I'd love to be shooting it just whenever I would get a chance.
All right, here's a question for you. You're in California. Is there a provision in the law where if it's like really old antique, you can get it? Because this gun is not going to be on the official register. It's not going to be one of the approved guns to be able to buy in California.
I'm not sure. All I would do is just try to jump through the hoops and hope that I could purchase one.
All right. Well, I'll keep everybody posted as we hear more about it, and when it becomes announced, we'll certainly be talking about it. And when it does, and if it does, we'll talk to the folks at the Civilian Marksmanship Program. We'll get them on here. We've had some, thanks for the call, Ruben. We've had some great times out at the CMP range in Talladega, Alabama. If you've not been there, you owe it to yourself to get out there. State-of-the-art shooting range, amazing. You can be shooting at 300, 600 yards, never have to walk down and change the target. It's all electronic. You just sit there and you got a little monitor on your bench right next to you as you're shooting. You can see the impact. It scores everything for you. No paper targets. It's amazing. The CMP range is just outstanding. All right, line 1, JJ is calling in from Pensacola, Florida with a follow-up. Hey, JJ, how are you?
Hey, Tom, doing good. I watched that Tiger McKee, the newest one I got, and that was a great DVD.
Okay, let me explain. This is the DVD that we produced. It's Tiger McKee from Shoot Right Academy, great shooting instructor, and it's called Fighting with the 1911. But it's really, don't you think it's really just about gunfighting, and whether or not you're using 1911 really doesn't matter?
Oh, yes, sir. Even though it says 1911, it actually covers any kind of firearm, in my opinion, for, how to safely shoot, the fundamentals, everything. And after I watched that, I actually went back and watched Concealed Carry 1 and 2 with the Vata group again, and there's a lot of stuff I said, I forgot about that. That's right, So, they're very similar. Tiger McKee's, it's just the way he talks. It's just a little more entertaining. It's very,
I like the way you put that. Tiger is a hoot and a half. He is all Alabama, isn't he?
Yes, sir, he is. And then, just purchased. I go to the gun show just if I got an idea what I'm looking for, and I'm not really settled on anything. I go to a gun show, and I look at all the different ones and see how they fit my hand. Mm-hmm. And I did that for the last couple of months, and finally, I decided I got the Taurus G2 compact for concealed carry, and I bought that one. And then I got a local Harley shop / gun shop in the same place, and it's a small business, but that's where I buy my stuff from. Anyway, I was in there. They got it for me, and when I was looking in the little case next there, somebody had traded in a Ruger P85, and I already have a P89 I bought years ago, and I like it. They're bigger guns. A lot of people don't like them. They're big, chunky guns, yeah. Yeah, but, man, they shoot good, so I ended up buying that one, too. You know what we say, man, the most expensive words you can say are, might as well. Exactly. I couldn't pass it up. I said, man, really? You're kidding. I said, I got an 89. I said, shoot. And I took it out and shot it. Man, they're just, to me, they just shoot like a dream. And I have they are sweet. Yeah, they are sweet guns. Well, look, I appreciate the report on that DVD. I am so glad that you enjoyed it. I think Tiger McKee's DVD is just excellent. So, and then, like you say, that gives you a chance to go back and look at our other ones. Thank you, JJ. I appreciate that. If you don't know what he's talking about, just go to our website, guntalk.com, or you can look at shopguntalk.com. We have 2 DVDs, Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2. That's by the Vada Group. Very good. And then Tiger's DVD is just world-class excellent. And it's called Fighting with the 1911. But as JJ said, it's really about what to do with your handgun. Carrying it, drawing it, shooting it, clearing malfunctions. And it works for any kind of platform, any semi-automatic platform. If you don't have them, and people are always saying, can't afford to go to XYZ academy, training facility. I understand. Nobody has all the money in the world. Nobody has enough dollars. And it's tough. But that's really why we created these DVDs. We're not, tell the truth, we're not really in the DVD business. We make good videos. We make good television shows. But people kept saying, hey, I can't go to Gunsight. I can't go to Thunder Ranch. I can't go to SIG Academy. Okay, well, we did this. And it's a really good way to get started. And then I think what happens is after you look at them, you realize I need more training. You realize I've got a hole in my preparedness. But it is, I think, honestly, if nothing else, you'll go out and try this stuff and you'll shoot at the range and you'll get better. I would offer this. I think what the DVDs do for you is they recalibrate your thinking. They give you that aha moment, that in-tot moment we talk about. The I never thought of that. Where you're going, wow, did not know that. That's a great way to, I never would have. It just goes on and on and on. And then you come away going, I got to watch that again. So, it's shopguntalk.com, and you can buy those. We got some package deals there. Or you can actually, I think you can do it right off of your GunDealio app on your smartphone. You do have the GunDealio app, right? Because why would you be spending more money than you need to spend? You get all these super deals through the GunDealio app. Doesn't mean you're going to save money. Sorry about that. It just means you're going to buy more stuff for the same money. And that's cool, too. More guns, more ammo, more accessories. It's all good. 866-TALK-GUN. What are you carrying these days, and how are you carrying it? All right, let's go quickly. Get some calls in here. Joe is on line 2 out of Marysville, Ohio. Glock 19. What are you doing with this thing, Joe?
Well, I was wondering if I want to use that as like my outdoor in the wilderness gun, and I heard about the guys taking down bears with their 9mm, and I was wondering if that Buffalo Bore Plus P Outdoorsman would be a good choice. I like the thought of the 10mm, but I don't want to have to, stock up on another ammo, and 10mm is not cheap.
Okay,
so I guess your thoughts on that.
Are you talking about being in the wilderness in Ohio? Is there wilderness in Ohio?
Well, yeah, I don't know, Southern Ohio.
I'm messing with you.
But more like like for pigs. I plan on going.
Okay.
I got some family down in Kentucky with a pig problem. I was thinking about that.
You're on the right path here. I would go with hardcast bullets. I would make sure, whether they're Buffalo Bore or they are double tap ammo, both make really good hardcast loads. Make sure that they feed, because that's the one thing that might be an issue, and make sure that the ammo I would shoot, I don't want to shoot 25 or 50 rounds of the hardcast lead through the gun and make sure it feeds well. After that, I think you're good to go. As long as you can shoot it, that ammo will do the job, especially on hogs, but even on black bear, honestly, it'll work just fine. Yeah. Joe, look, I got to run because I got Nolan on waiting here. I got to get him in on line 3 out of Colorado. 257 Roberts, Nolan, what are you asking here? What do you think?
Oh, yep, you'd mentioned you'd like them. I own 2 of them, and I'm really impressed with them.
What rifles do you have?
I got a Model 70. It's a Post 64, but a featherweight. It's in standard 257 Roberts. My dad picked it up at a yard sale years and years ago for like $300.
Nice.
In pristine condition. It doesn't get used much. But
the other one?
Oh, the other one, after we'd shot his a little bit, we got a long-action 700 Remington, and we made a 257 Ackley improved out of it.
Okay.
And with 110 grain AccuBonds, we're getting 3,300 feet a second out of those. It's a laser beam, like you say, out to 400 or 500 yards.
Yeah, and not a lot of recoil.
No, none so much. That 26-inch barrel, it's a little barrel heavy. It just balances out perfect, and
wow,
it's an awesome rig. It weighs in. We just put a pencil barrel, lightest Macmillan stock on it. We could get it. Weighs 5 3/4, 6 pounds without a scope,
and you're getting 25-06 velocities out of it by doing the Ackley improved and hand loading it up. Nola, I appreciate the call. In fact, it's funny you mentioned it. I was just looking at some loads with the 110 grain Nosler AccuBond in the 257 because I'm going on a mule deer hunt in October, and I've been thinking 7mm08, but now I'm wondering and talking myself back into it. I have three. I think I have 3 257 Roberts rifles. I have my mother's, that Sporterized, very cool one. If you looked on Twitter, you saw the picture of it. It's just stone gorgeous. I have a custom short action Remington 700 left-handed from years ago, and it's beautiful, has gorgeous stock. Not the most accurate rifle, 1.5 inch ballpark. And then I have one I've never shot. I bought several years ago, still sitting in a box, and it's a Ruger No. 1 that the folks at Lipsy's did. It's a special run. And that would be cool because it'd be a lot shorter. So the Ruger No. 1 in 257 Roberts would be pretty sweet. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Hard to say. Hard to know. I don't know. You ever shot a Bob? You ever shot the 257 Roberts? Have any experience with it? Love to know about that. Also, we're talking about what are you carrying in terms of your gun, your ammo, and do you have any after-the-shoot protection? We'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. 866-TALK-GUN.